train crews and the entire staff that work that issue. We've continued to do what we need to do to keep the track operational. Very recently, we had some rocks overhanging at one of our tunnels. Those rocks have been bothering Ronnie and his crew for a long time. And here's the danger. Where these rocks were, if there was a rock slide, and our trains are either heading into or coming out of the tunnel in this particular case, they represented a threat because there just wasn't going to be enough time to stop a moving train if in fact you had a rock slide that you didn't know about. We sort of used our track crew to check those weak spots every day before we hit those areas. The reality is we need to get rid of it, and Marvin and Ronnie brought in some blasting expertise. That problem, Alan, is gone. We're not going to have rock slides. I know how much you love those on the DNS. But we're not going to have a rock slide, at least not at these tunnels. So those kind of things are well. Again, the Martinez Point ballast exercise, there's a stash of ballast left for next year. But it's good quality ballast, and it works, and the price is really good. Nick, Roberta, and Roger are staffing our fall and winter program relative to reservations. Just so you know, John, particularly in your case, we are moving forward in selling charters and special trains just like if we were going to be here next year. So when you guys come on board in January, we'll have a briefing ready for you. But right now, we've sold someplace around $80K worth of charters. Our fireman engineering school, the first one's pretty much sold out, and the others are going along just right. We have some freight charter trains, about $50K worth of freight charter trains already on the book starting in May, and they're spread out throughout the summer. Right now, we think that we're projecting someplace around 250 to 300K, just based on what we're seeing now in potential revenue. If everything works out, by the end of the season, we'll be doing real well. The Galloping Goose will be back. We think the Galloping Goose is a good opportunity for our railroad, and I'm sure that as you guys bring some of your capability into the package, we think that special trains and charters are a good way to bring people up to get to know the railroad, and hopefully builds our market. Now, that said, we also know that we are not pursuing anything that we don't think is going to make us money. Break-even's okay, but we're not in the business of breaking even. And so everything that we're working and everything I have on my list to date are deals that we think are going to actually pop. There's a lot of people that come and say, well, we want to do this kind of train. And it's pretty simple. We're really conservative about what we take the risk on. We take the risk as a company on the Fireman Engineering School, and it's a pretty good risk. Guys like Alan Loomis that helped us pull this together a couple of years ago, Fireman Engineer School is a good product to have out there. Now, are the numbers just right yet? No, we still need to do some work. But as you guys come on board, we'll be able to brief you on what we have coming. And August and September look really strong. There's a lot of people looking at the colors, and we think that there's great opportunities to do that. The German guys look like they want to come back. That's a $75,000 deal. We take real good care of those guys. And even though we're being reasonable, we're doing it because we expect to make money on it. For the benefit of the commission, I have here, Leo, would you hand this to the commission? This year was the first year that our company ran concessions and liquor service. What you have there, Randy, is a copy of our current P&L as of October 31st. We'll still be operating concessions for the Christmas trains. Things went reasonably well. It's not near as easy as I thought it might be. We will continue to finish up the year and give the commission a final report on this issue. I wanted to recognize my board. Today, Bill Hume is here and Tim Tennant is here. Frank Turner, as I mentioned before, took the leadership role in really getting this track thing turned around. Richard Tower was with us for a while as well. And overall, our board and our company was an all-volunteer band. I mean, there was a strategic benefit to the railroad in that, you know, a guy like Amos Cordova, who's on our board, you know, I was thinking about this over the last few days. You know, Amos, who's now 80, had something on the order of 60 years, does that sound right, Alan, of experience in railroading on narrow gauge railroads. He was here at the Chama Depot in 1951, a newlywed. He and his wife Julie lived in the Chama Depot and enjoyed their time there, and eventually went to work for Durango and Silverton. Settled in Durango, became mayor of Durango, so whenever I get pulled over in Durango, I use his name. That usually gets me thrown in jail, but it works. But Amos, you know, 60 years of experience. Frank Turner, 45 plus years of experience in the railroad industry. Richard Tower had some experience in the railroad industry. Tim Tennant, having run railroads in his past life in Wisconsin, and ultimately our first 2 years on the property was our general manager. Having this cadre of people on this board and the hard work that these people did over the 6 years and keeping the railroad healthy, I don't know how to say thank you to these people. I just don't know how to do it. But I want all of you here to know just how important this board was and the price that they did in their personal time and in their level of effort. They did with an open heart and a full heart. So I thank Bill Hume and Tim and Frank Turner and Amos Corda for their hard work, and Richard Tower for the time he was with us as well. These guys did a super job. As I close this discussion and stand for questions, I want to do one last thing for Stephen Flowers and his crew. Stephen, you know, we did a couple of things this year that were new. One of them was our entire train crew, everybody on the train crew, everybody in the shop, everybody on the reservations and agent team and the call center team, everybody wore uniforms this year. And it's not like we hadn't tried before, we just never got there. What I concluded is when we actually thought about a nice design and nice vest, in fact, Billy still wears his vest, he's so in love with it. But we actually got to the point that there was a sense of professional pride in our crew that extended to our contractors. And, you know, Stephen, you and your crew, you joined us in this uniform effort. What we got from our passengers was a real positive, you know, it's really good to see you guys. We know who you are. You have a name badge. It's, you know, it's a safer way of doing business. We know who the heck we're supposed to be talking to. Our conductors, you know, Alan and Sam and the conductor crew and our brake staff and our locomotive staff all looked the part. And it really helped. And Stephen, when you joined us in that effort, it really helped as well. Because our passengers had no clue that Stephen was a separate contractor. As far as they were concerned, he was just part of the railroad. And Stephen, that's exactly what you all are. I also thank you, Stephen, for your help and support. You know, we changed our special trains menu. We went to prime rib dinners and high-end fish and Cornish game hens. So when you ran the Moonlight train and you got to Osier for dinner, and with a little bit of luck, we'll swap out the tables. Our customer base had a hard time climbing over those tables these years. But, you know, Stephen and his crew did an exceptional job. You know, Papa Smurf could never deliver the cinnamon rolls on time this year, but, you know, we've become a family here, and the friends are part of the family, the commission is part of this family, and clearly our company leaves with a really light heart. We're really pleased with what we did, and this was a long one, Randy, and I apologize for it, but it's the last one. And I thank the commission. I thank you all for your help, for your advice, your counsel. I think our partnership in finding money over the years to do this track program, to keep the locomotives running, it's still going to require a lot of that effort, and it's Senator Schwartz and Representative DeHill and Senator Martinez and Representative Rodella. Those are the people that speak for us. But they, you know, they represent the owners of this railroad, the taxpaying citizens of New Mexico and Colorado, and we got to stay together. And I look forward to seeing the commission succeed, the Friends to continue in their role, and I wish the American Heritage Railroad the very best of luck, and Alan will do anything we can to help in this transition. Thank you all.
Thanks, Senator.